No, you didn't miss this one. We are live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And they call this guy Small Town, but I'm going to tell him he's now hit the big time because he's here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and all wrestling matters. And this guy may be a small town guy, but I got a lot of confidence in him because the guy that opened up tonight's show is arguably the greatest living drummer alive. And this guy, Carmine Appice, you probably heard of Rod Stewart. Do You Think I'm Sexy? Hot Legs. You probably heard of this guy, Ozzy Osbourne. He played with him, Bark at the Moon on that tour. He, is the influence to Alex and Eddie Van Halen. And this guy, I got to tell you, he's going to make sure that we followed up what we just had here and some, because we're going to talk about a company that we've talked quite a bit about here on Sportswire Radio over the last year. That is the US of WA, and we're going to talk about some of those champions that represent the US of WA, like that Keystone State champion, Day Jamison. Well, Day, find your boss here. How about that guy, Day Tafu? Yeah, we'll bring him up. How about the Banana Man, Ampo, who's probably in Tokyo right now as we speak? How about Brittany Storm? Oh, boy. We're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk about a show that was supposed to have taken place, but boy, Mother Nature certainly got some other ideas. We'll talk about a guy that I know from a company called EC Dub. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about some other things and who knows whatever else. But I know that this man has been chomping at the bits to be here and get that introduction. And I am going to give him that introduction here that he most certainly deserves, because he is, after all, the boss, and he can, yank the collective from coming on Sportswire Radio. He could yank anybody else that's been here and say, well, they'll go somewhere else. We don't want that to happen. That's why we're going to start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music, all sports, and all wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado here on a Sports Report, number one, Sports Show. He may be small town, but he's now hit the big time. He's the boss of the US of WA. His name is simply put, my friend, how are we doing?
We're doing great, sir. First of all, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I love watching your show, especially with the introductions you give. They're some of the best. I will say that. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. It's an honor, sir. And thank you for all you do for our sport. Thank you for always allowing collectively many of the USWA talents to come onto my platform. And I'll make it chuckle because I just had, as I said, arguably the greatest drummer alive in Carmine Appice. And I get on all these big guys in the rock world now where I've kind of transitioned into, and I hate to say it at this point, I might be bigger in that world, but I can never do those intros there now because people get mad. They don't want to hear, because they just want to hear them talk because they're on such a pedestal. So I always love coming back on here live and in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage with the wrestlers and the boss like yourself to do those intros. Because without the wrestlers and people like yourself, I wouldn't have been afforded those opportunities. But Small town, Harley Langley. You are no longer small town. And let's talk about a lot of what's going on here in the USWA, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest station platform that you and the USWA most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio, we were supposed to have had a show, but Mother Nature had different ideas. And what's up with that?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank everyone who was going to come to the show. Forbidden Door Breakdown. We were supposed to break down these forbidden doors between two companies, not just two companies, but two companies that are like 6 hours apart. Us and the Outcast Wrestling Revolution up in Connecticut. The snow got to us. It changed like 3 times. You know, that's no bueno.
Yeah, no, I'm in New York City. I mean, in the weather, it's like I feel like I'm going to be looking at snow until next year at this point.
I hear that. Ours is still trying to melt. So down here in PA.
You mean both. So we're going to have this show, and it was obviously something we talked a lot about on Sportswire. And I would hope that eventually we'll see this again. But, one of the things that you said that I'm really supportive of is breaking down the forbidden door. I've been doing this a long time. I've had the good fortune to be doing this for 7 years. I've been covering wrestling for 5. And one of the things that got me to where I am today, it ultimately has led me, to be in the rock world. And I was very humbled when a record label owner had compared me to the young blood of rock interviews. We'll see how that holds up down the road. But the point is that I love seeing people collaborate if the opportunity is right for both parties. And what you were attempting to do here in the nutmeg state, the great state of Connecticut, you were attempting to do that 6-hour distance. Usually it's PA, Ohio, West Virginia, or PA, Ohio, and New Jersey, or some combination of those states. And yet you were looking to break that forbidden door by going to the nutmeg state in the great state of Connecticut.
Yes, sir. Actually, are you up for a story?
You are small town Harley Langley of the US of WA. So we're live, baby. Let's go.
So, first of all, did you see the Super Bowl?
I saw it in beautiful Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. I wish I didn't really watch the game. I had a great time on my buddy. There's 86-inch television with about 10 or 11 of my friends, but I certainly did watch the big game, unfortunately, nevertheless.
So, the Seattle coach, when they interviewed him, he said, "This is a calling from God." And yes. I believe the same with the USWA, and I'm going to get to my story. So, honestly, with being a dad, a brand new dad when I was and stuff like that, I was trying to throw ideas at the wall to see what stuck. And right. I saw this wrestling Outcast Wrestling Revolution, and I emailed them about co-sponsoring or sponsoring a title with them, and they said we have enough male championships. But funny thing is I could have gave up at that moment, but then I saw Cindy say, "I wish there was more female championships and female driven matches in the business," and that sparked an idea.
Me too. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm a very, very strong supporter of women wrestling, and I say it all the time on here. There are women's wrestlers that do 10 times better than the male wrestlers, and I'm glad that in 2026 we've focused a little more, I think, on wrestling and what the ladies can do rather than other things. So, yes, I am fully supportive of your visions there. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. So we co-sponsored the Provision State Women's title, and it was supposed to be the first champion was supposed to be crowned Saturday, but the weather unfortunately did not let up, and we had to cancel for the safety of our fans and our locker rooms.
Sure, I respect that. Well, obviously, we would hope to see more of things like that in the future, and I would hope when maybe you guys will collaborate again. I'm going to put that poster up here in a minute that we get to see that guy that was an ECW original. Yes, ECW, and a guy that I've talked about many times because I've had the good fortune to have a few ECW legends on here. I had the honor to have on the last real ECW world champion in the War Machine, the Man Beast Rhino. I've had on Raven, who everybody knows right now with this documentary, another 2-time former ECW heavyweight champion. I had on Pitbull Gary Wolf, who said a few things about a guy that I'm about to talk about right now, who's supposed to be on that show. And that was Jason Knight, a former television champion, a guy that was certainly a huge part of the Impact players. Just Incredible, a former ECW world champion, Lance Storm and Dawn Marie, and a guy that is also training a lot of students as we speak, very involved with the places like CZW and other places, Zone Dojo. And he was supposed to be a part of that show. And I hope that, when this door gets reopened, when Mother Nature decides to maybe head elsewhere, that he'll be a part of whatever your plans have with OAR.
Yes, OWR actually, Outcast Wrestling. It's all right. I did the same thing a couple times. I didn't mean to embarrass you. But yeah. So, again, I apologize for that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Sometimes I'm a stickler for the little things. I do apologize, but I do have some news on the Jason Knight situation.
I would love to hear about it because we're live, and I think people are eagerly anticipating because you had put it out that you were going to make a major announcement on here. So I'm going to give you the floor and pass the baton to you on that.
So, because Mother Nature did not let up, Jason Knight will be in Connecticut March 7th for their next show. OWR is doing at Ledgewood Middle School. But Forbidden Door Breakdown, we actually were talking about maybe having Jason Knight back, and I have a date for the reschedule. It is August.
Date?
What's that?
You have a date? So tell us more about that. I'd love to know.
August 8th, 2026, Forbidden Door Breakdown is going to be rescheduled at Ledgewood Middle School.
Whoa! That's right around the corner. That's less than 6 months from now. That's 6 months from now. Boy, that's going to be here quicker than a New York minute. So you mean to tell me two things. The first thing is Jason Knight is going to be back out there in the Nutmeg State on March 7th. That's the first thing. Sir. And then the second part of that is that this show that we were supposed to have is now going to be rescheduled officially to August 8th.
Yes, sir. Warmer weather.
Well, yeah, it'll definitely be warmer by then, and we're going to heat things up with the USWA, and that's an amazing announcement. I'm going to share my screen so people can find out more on the USWA, and there was what you said, yes, and OWR, that's right, it's the OWR. Thank you very much for correcting us on that, because it does kind of technically sound like OAR, but it's OWR, almost like the US of WA, and there's that guy that is supposed to have been there, but is going to be there on March 7th. That is the legendary Jason Knight, a man, like I said, an ECW original, a guy that is in phenomenal shape. He is in better shape than people twice of the age of him. Think about that. This is a guy that he's in better shape than people that could be his son, could even be his grandson or a granddaughter or daughter, and he's going to be there in action. That is an amazing announcement. But also, the Forbidden Door is going to be reopened, and that door is going to be broke down, ladies and gentlemen, on August the 8th. The US of WA and the OWR are going to present that show, and I am very excited about that. And congratulations on being able to announce that here.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. We were going to do it sooner, but Cindy has to be down in Memphis, so they're collaborating with a promotion down in Tennessee in June, and then July. A lot of kids are graduating college, so I suggested maybe August. That way we have time, and they love the idea, and we talked about trying to bring Jason Knight back for that card as well.
Absolutely. And to have him and to have his experience, his leadership, I think that's going to be a huge deal. And I think that's going to motivate people to come out and support OWR as well. Yes, sir.
And like, it's so much more time to just, drill down the promoting stage. So that way, our goal for this is packed house. That's the goal.
Well, we're going to definitely help you out there with that. And obviously, we're going to put the USWA YouTube and Instagram links up here. Let's first put the Instagram up so people can go support the USW, because it might be the first time you're seeing the boss on here. And they do have a page. If you want to get in touch with the USWA, you can certainly do that. I'm going to talk about some names. We haven't got a chance to talk about some others. We will. So do me a favor. If you're out there, go follow the USWA. And you can do that there, and you can talk about some of the different things with the boss himself, small town Harley Langley, who is now hit the big time. So what are the goals of the USWA this year coming up?
So our goals always stay the same. It is collaborate with others to expand independent wrestling, because the way I look at it is there is a global market called the WWE and AEW, and then there's us. And if we want to get to maybe a market we can all share, kind of like that, it's up to all of us to work together to push what we love and go places that, and I'm not, that the WWE can't.
Right.
So we can interact with more fans, like hotels, small towns, just places that, big time won't go. But yeah, that's the goal, is to collaborate with others, sponsor matches, get the ball rolling to help one another.
No, I think that's a great point. I think right now independent wrestling has that opportunity to do that. I have the good fortune of sponsoring a show in the Nutmeg State, that is the great state of Connecticut, which is the TF Cruise Milford Mania 2026 this Sunday. And the proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Club. They have some great talents on there. There's another ECW original, and Nunzio's on the card. Cheeseburger, who you might have known from Ring of Honor, and this guy Ace Romero. It's big boy season with him, so there's some great talents on there. And I love hearing more about companies like the USWA. And let's go right into it. Let's talk about some of your talents that are in the US of WA. And I got to start off here with the collective. I have to start off with the Keystone State champion, Day Jamison. And he is one of the few talents right now in all of wrestling that has not one, not two, not three, but 4 championships. So I give you the floor to find what you have to say, Harley Langley, about the one and only USWA Keystone State champion, Day Jamison.
Man, what can I say about Day? I mean, honestly, he's a delight to have in the locker room, because I haven't been knowing this very long. I'm also learning from him.
Okay.
So it's a pleasure to not only, have these guys work for me, but to learn from these guys. And Day has defended that Keystone State title and defended it with his life. And he bleeds USWA, and I appreciate that more than a lot of people. So Day is just a great addition to have in the locker room.
No question about that. And obviously, he has been a mainstay on this platform even before he was the Keystone State champion. I got the poster up for originally February 7th, and I have to talk about them. And I mean, that is the reigning defending tag team champions. That is the Banana Man Lestat and Ampo, the Destroyer. And obviously Ampo all the way from Tokyo. And the Banana Man, I mean, this guy has been a mainstay for a long time. And talk to me about your tag team champions.
So I can actually give you an insight on who they were going to face at Forbidden Door Breakdown, and that is Genesis. And that was going to be a fantastic match. There's not much I can say about the tag team champions, except they are also, like, Banana Man is probably he will get me to crack when I'm trying to be serious backstage. He's the one that gets me to crack. Ampo, they have been nothing but great leaders in the locker room, and they are willing to help whenever I need. Just great people to work with.
Absolutely, and having those guys and their experience and what they bring to the table certainly helps a growing company and someone like yourself. I think, especially going into August 8th.
Oh, and I need to say this. Banana
Yes.
Man's Banana Buddy owes me 75 cents. Okay.
Oh, well, okay. Well, can I hopefully he give us the 75 cents or find a way to give that 75 cents to the small town Harley Langley so we can keep the US of WA going. So that was certainly something I didn't expect to hear, but well, I guess now we just did.
Hey, those bananas may look cute, but man, you know when they say, "Hey, I need to borrow 75 cents for a soda," you know,
Well, that's a good point. I tell you what, I'll make you laugh. I do remember as a kid, and it feels like it was yesterday. But I remember going to it was a supermarket a few blocks away from where I grew up, and I would spend a quarter and I would get a can of soda. I would go to this place, Food City, on 74th Street and 3rd Ave. I remember like yesterday, and I would get a can of soda for a quarter. Now I don't think $1.25 would get me a can of soda, but that's okay. That's here nor there. But obviously, yes, we'll certainly see what they do coming up. And what's it like for you and the company to see guys like Day and Ampo and Banana Man? I'll certainly get to that guy. Tafu in a little while when they defend your championship in other places. What is that like for you and the company and getting those guys to defend your championship elsewhere? How does that make you feel?
well, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the West Virginia Wrestling Federation. I want to give a shout out to any other company they defend their titles at because it
Absolutely.
it put it puts nothing but smiles on my face and in my heart because they're not only defending those titles that represent us, they're defending them on another platform with the potential company we could link up with in the future. So that makes me smile and it makes my heart smile.
And I think it makes all of our hearts smile because we do a lot of work with many of those companies, and especially the WVWF, where again the collective especially has made their names, and we certainly love to see that. And I'm going to put your YouTube link up here in a minute, but I wanted to run down some of the other names that were going to be out there, and I do want to point out that those tickets did look pretty nice. I hope that somebody has a collector ticket there because that was that, and that was pretty cool. And I would have liked to have seen some of that. And there was some of the other talents, Ken Powers and Red Dog. We got that posted there with Genesis, and there's the collective, and Jermaine Jubilee and BJ Walker Ramos. You want to talk to me about them for a few minutes?
Yeah, of course. So Jermaine Jubilee, shout out to him. He's actually my trainer, all the way up from Atlanta, GA.
Wow.
Yeah. So Pennsylvania Prime Championship Wrestling had a spot in Dover, Pennsylvania that he was checking out. We linked up. He trained me for free. And I owed him this. I needed to put him on my card, and he brought in names like BJ Walker, a good friend of mine, the Lone Wolf, Ramon Estrada.
Wow.
Well, when you catch him in a good mood, he's usually standoffish. The Lone Wolf doesn't stray too far. Jermaine has helped me along the way tremendously. So shout out to him. Shout out to Azra Banks, the CEO of the Pennsylvania Prime Championship Wrestling. Yeah, so I am very, very blessed, my friend.
Well, you should definitely be very blessed, and we're very blessed to. I've certainly seen what you guys bring to the table, and obviously, I want to show what the championships look like before I get to the chat, because there are people that want to talk to you, and I'm going to get to them, and I certainly want to talk on the other side of the chat about somebody that I've mentioned quite a bit, but there is United States Wrestling Alliance champ. It's the title itself, and it's a pretty belt, I gotta tell you.
Thank you. Shout out to oh man, now I'm blanking on his name.
I'll tell you what, it's a pretty belt, and I gotta say, it's exactly why we like the US of WA, and it's got to make you proud to see the way the company is represented with that championship.
Yes, Miss Bad Country Andrew Williams is doing a great job out in Connecticut. I mean Kentucky. He's a
Sure.
OVW. Sorry, I'm sorry, sir. What was that?
No, I was just saying, yeah, absolutely. He's been a great champion for you guys, and and to have the title defended in places that you've certainly wanted to get exposure for, I think really helps the company get out there and just as a young promoter.
Yes, sir. Of course. Yeah, he has done nothing but wonders with our title. He has defended it and made a great name for himself in the USWA, and yeah, well, we hope to get him down here soon. So we can. Well, we're hoping to collaborate with the West Virginia Wrestling Federation and SCW and places like that, so that way we can.
We see a lot of your talent show up there. I mean, I see WVWF talent and elsewhere. I see your Keystone State champion here. I'll get to them in the chat in a few minutes, but I think that's a no-brainer. I think, listen, I mean, I think the WVW, this company, listen, I see the EWA here. The EWA is also in the great state of Ohio. Maybe they want to collaborate with you. There's Mon Valley. I mean, there's many companies out here in the Three Rivers area. I mean, listen, the door is open. I mean, why not?
Maybe we should break down these forbidden doors.
Oh, I think with Mother Nature and Old Man Winter, we can definitely do that. We'll have no problem doing that. And I'll put one more belt up, and I'll certainly then get to the chat because I want to talk about that Universal Championship, but I'll do that in a little while because I'm saving that. But there's the tag titles, and I gotta say, I love the tag titles. Tag titles are very pretty. We've seen them here on Sportswire because I've had Banana Man and Ampo together. It was certainly quite a feat, quite a moment, and they're pretty belts, and that's why they collectively are in the collective's possession.
I see what you did there. That was good.
Yeah, Dave doesn't like when I do that, but at the moment there, it did kind of serve itself to do it because they are the champs, they are the incumbents, and I think that's great stuff. So let's put the Instagram up. I'll put the YouTube link up. I'm trying to find it. I'll get it in a minute. But in the meantime, that's the USWA's Instagram page. If you want to find out more about the USWA, you most certainly can. I'm going to go and get to the other side of the chat. So let's do that here now. We are here with the owner of the USWA, that is Small Town Harley Langley. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. If you're here for the first time, thank you so much. Like, share, and subscribe to us. And let's get to some people here in the chat. Zilla is here first. Thank you, Zilla, for being here. Thank you very much. He's here all the time. There is the boss of the EWA. That is the high authority, Hubie Jenkins. He's got a pretty big announcement from what I hear. From what I gather, he's got a big announcement Sunday night. And you might want to tune into that because it may involve somebody you know, but I don't know enough about it to say who it could be. So you might want to tune into that Sunday night. Since the Super Bowl, there's no football now Sunday night, so you got no excuse. I mean, at this point, with football over and your Sunday nights are now open, that gives us a reason why everybody can come back to Sportswire on Sunday nights, and Hubie Jenkins is going to certainly give us a reason why. So I promise you, the boss, are going to want to be there. Speaking of people from the EWA and the ROEW Prestige Champion, Quick Strike Johnny Velocity is here in the house. Thank you to the Quick Strike Johnny Velocity, an OG of our platform. I want to say hello to the lovely Maria, who's been missing coming on Sportswire Live. Well, now you're here. We love you. We're seeing you here. Thank you very much for your support. And no, you didn't miss it. We're here live in prime time on the brightest lights. That is Jeffrey. Thank you, Jeffrey, for being here. Hello to AJ Harrison, the Don of Combat. Yep, hello. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, hello to Zilla. Small town to the big time, big city. And yes, you live in Pennsylvania. Obviously, I'm sure if you'd like to watch one of the shows, you're definitely welcome to. Though not going to happen yet August 8th, so we got some time. So we'll certainly see what else is out there. That's the USWA's page. You can follow them on Instagram. And speaking of the WVWF, now this is a guy that's a frat boy. He's the King of the Mountain champion. That's Cody Maverick. I don't know if you've heard of Maverick, but he's certainly been a name. You're going to see him coming up in some places like, again, Mon Valley. You're going to see him a part of the WVWF, most certainly as their King of the Mountain champion. Their show takes place next Saturday. You're going to see him in just a CSE all over the place. And he wanted to say you're always welcome. Maybe you do want to attend a show as a promoter and see what the WVWF has to offer. I mean, I don't know the distance from your compound to their compound, but love seeing the offer being extended by WVWF talent,
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to come down there to WVWF. That's a tongue twister sometimes. I would love to check out a show. Whatever
I can see it to your tongue's twisted. I understand. Don't worry.
Whatever the next show is, I might be able to make that or the one after that. I got lots of vacation time and a buddy who loves the adventure.
You know what? I could certainly see why that could be in the plans. And there he is. There is the Keystone State champion. Say his name. He appears like Joe Hendry, representing the USWA. Absolutely, there he is. You found him. He's here.
What's up, Day? Day and night.
Well, yes, he is. And yes, my beautiful Goldilocks. And wanted to say we love Cody Maverick and V21. So, obviously it's great to see that Day Jameson is here with you and to see your talent being represented. And I mean, I got to say, before I get to what I want to talk about here in a few minutes, and I want to give you something, I want to put something on my screen, but, what's it like owning a company? What's it like being a promoter, going into this? And, what motivated you to want to become a promoter?
Honestly, I'm going to tell you the age-old story. Ever since I was in first grade, I wanted to be the next Hulk Hogan. And, I just got eliminated from my second battle royal, and I sat there and I pondered, what am I going to do? And honestly, this kind of fell in my lap, and I met a guy named Derek Branch, and he's the president of our company, and I just been walking through the doors, and it's just been unfolding in front of my eyes, and words can't describe how happy I am that I am able to do this.
Well, you definitely do a great job, and I know Mr. Jameson wants to tell me the 21st was the reference for the WVWF show, and I didn't quite get the reference because it didn't say the 21st; it said the 21. So, I will also give a plug to Mr. Jameson that he will be here next Friday night. So, your champion will be here with Tyler Grayson. So, I'm sure that you'll be tuned into that. I want to say hello to James Taylor, the nemesis James Taylor. I haven't seen him in a while. You'll probably see him here very soon. So thank you very much, Dave, for that. And I also want to say hello to Hotshot Scotty Jeffries. He wanted to say, listening to my friend, small town, now big town, Harley Langley, backing him up. And, talk to me about Scotty Jeffries there for us.
So I have a story. My very first battle royal, I walk into the locker room, and the thought is, what am I doing here? And then I go to walk away, and I'm like, no, I belong here. And Hotshot Scotty Jeffries got a hold of me, and he's like, look, man, you'll be all right. So the music hit, and we all went out to the ring, and I did the Hulk Hogan. And I was so nervous. We didn't even hear the bell ring in that place, and we're staring each other down. He says, screw it, kicks me in the gut. Next thing I know, 30 seconds later, I get the tap on the back of the head. I'm going out. That was like the best feeling.
Wow. You know what? Hey, listen, you arrived. You certainly made it. And I don't know if this is the right USWA page, but I do have one page up here. And if you want to hit the sub button for the USWA, you can do that, right? Do I have the right page up here, or am I missing something? I feel like this is the page I have in front of me. So you can hit the sub button for the USWA, see some previous content. And I would really recommend you hit the sub button for them. And if you're here and you'd like to hit the sub button for me, that's great too. And there's Skulls, by the way, who's learning from D'Lo Brown. Wanted to say good evening. Thank you, Skulls, all the way from California. And if you were here
Ooh,
earlier, I
nice.
appreciate you. Yes, thank you. Yes, he's from California. Certainly made an interesting journey. And I want to share my screen in a couple because I want to give you something. And I'm excited about that because I really think this is going to be a big thing for you guys and the company to motivate because the USWA has been such a good friend to Sportswire Radio the last year. Obviously, with the collective, they've found their ways on Sportswire many times. And I think that this is the right thing to do. And I'm going to expedite this. So I'm going to share my screen, and especially for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And I'm sure you'll accept this award on behalf of the USWA because you are the boss after all. Small town, but now big time. Harley Langley, USWA,
Oh,
Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Congratulations there, my man.
thank you. I appreciate that. That means more than you know. I really,
you're a promoter, you're a businessman, you're very successful in that, growing the USWA, representing the US of WA. No, you have certainly done a lot for our sport. And listen, this is, the least we can do by you letting all the talents from the USWA and hopefully some of your other talents. The door is always welcome for them to come on Sportswire. So any of them that you'd like to see on here, you just let me know, and we'll bring them on here anytime.
Sounds good to me. So I do want to say something regarding Mr. Dave Jameson. He actually got me in touch with Mon Valley Pro, and I want to say I don't remember who I was talking to, but the one owner is having surgery, so I wish him a speedy recovery.
Yes, we wish everybody a recovery, absolutely, for sure.
And I was actually supposed to sit down with them and talk about maybe expanding with them as well. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, why not? I mean, listen, the door should be open for everybody to go out there and wrestle. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, that's just what it should be. I mean, they can't be no other way. So I would definitely expect everybody to work together with the USWA and OWR, and I know that that's going to still be out there for everybody to see. And there's one guy that I haven't got a chance to talk with you yet, and that is your USWA Universal Champion, and he's the Samoan King, Daniel Tafua. And I was wondering, you've seen him, and he's obviously been going all over the place, and I know he was going to be a huge part of this show that was supposed to have taken place. And what is your thoughts on the USWA Universal Champion one, Daniel Tafua?
So first and foremost, they don't come any nicer. Tafua, he's another gem in the locker room. He's a good guy. He's been carrying the championship and he's been representing the company well. So the Universal title is supposed to be a title for the fans, and he's doing really well with that. And when we get into our match sponsorship phases, I think hopefully we can get him to travel a little more, and we can open up that pathway for him and the championship. But he's doing a fantastic job, and I wouldn't have it any other way. He's a great champion.
And you must like how many times he comes on Sportswire. He hacks into the streams. He's a roommate of mine, and obviously he certainly comes here almost on a regular basis, almost a more than a weekly basis at this point. I mean, I'm sure that helps you and your company because you've seen him. I know watching these shows of late, these last several weeks, and listen, he just pops up. You never know when he could pop up. Exactly.
Like he shared the Sportzwire with me, and he told me, he's like, look, I talked to Mr. Bryce, and you're I think you would do great on there. And yeah, he represents great on and off camera. He's a good champion and a good person.
He is a great man, and obviously, you are doing a great job on here. We love seeing you on this platform, and obviously, we're very excited about the future. And shout out to Mon Valley. Absolutely, we love Mon Valley on Sportswire. We love working with the guys. But apparently, I have received word that somebody is here and they want to say something to you. They have a message for you. So I think it's appropriate, even though it's your show, that I share my screen, bring this individual on, and basically show them to the world and give you that direct message. So I must do that now. So for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, wait a minute! That's who I think it is!
The forbidden one is gonna reopen. Hi, Mr. Langley. Open the forbidden door. Welcome to the wastelands.
Oh my God! He didn't even say nothing, and he just left. He just left, and he kept repeating the forbidden door. And he had the mask there, and the mask was talking, and he didn't talk. Have you seen anything like that before? I've never seen anything like that before. I'm doing this 7 years, and I've had Daniel Tafua like 77 times, and I've never seen that before.
Listen, I have seen Daniel Tafua, but I have not seen, like, I don't know who that was. That wasn't
Daniel Tafua. That was somebody there. It was a mask talking, and he left. He never said a word. Never said a word. Never said a thing. And then disappeared and vanished like thin air.
That was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that was crazy. I'd like to know what is going on with this mask.
Speaking of WVWF, that's a great point, because Friday, Godric Samuel's supposed to be, it's his birthday, and there's been this whole thing about Daniel Tafua and this mask, because there was a woman, Phoebe Harper, who got injured, and Daniel Tafua, your champion, certainly, universally attacked her, and, from the top rope, and then, he did a few things to Godric Samuel, and there's been this whole thing about the mask, and that mask seems to be a thing now, because the mask spoke, and Daniel Tafua didn't, and then Daniel Tafua vanished.
First and foremost, speedy recovery, Miss Phoebe Harper. I love Miss Phoebe Harper.
She's great. She's great.
I am going to speak to WVWF, and as soon as she's better, I am usually against intergender matches, but she definitely deserves a rematch for the Universal title. Hopefully we can make that official soon. But yeah, like I said, I've seen Tafua, but I've never seen like Daniel Tafua like that.
That was scary. The whole thing. We've been doing a lot with as I know you're aware of. We've been doing a lot with the WWF these last several weeks. I mean, they had an amazing show, New Heat, and they had a huge crowd. They were supposed to have their show like you guys this past weekend, but again, the weather has just been, obviously, understandably so, it has been bad as it is, and that's really been the topic right now. This whole thing with Daniel Tafua and the mask, and we've been talking a lot about it. Certainly Maverick was here in your spot last week, and we spoke about it with him. And obviously Godric's back on here for his birthday. I mean, it's really been a topic that has really taken the WVWF and everybody else by storm. And it's like the storms that have canceled our shows. This has been the dominant topic, I would say, over the last month on Sportswire.
Yeah, it's a good topic to talk about too, because we're all trying to get to the bottom of this. That was just crazy. I'm gonna flat out say it. That was crazy.
Now, are you expecting a conversation with Mr. Tafua or maybe the mask after we get off the air in a few minutes? Because that was certainly. I'm speechless right now. I mean, he hacked into the system and he just, the mask was talking, and then, like I said, he vanished in thin air. Do
you hear yourself? How do you even talk to a mask? I mean, that's just like, that's crazy.
Well, I think
Like,
the mask has certainly taken a hold. I think what has happened is that the mask has taken a hold, and even Mr. Tafua had said it was the mask that did those things to Phoebe Harper, and Ampo was there, and he couldn't control what Tafua did at New Heat, and Godric wasn't there originally, came out there, and we saw what happened. It was a huge back and forth on this platform with Godric and certainly Tafua, and we know that Godric's back on here Friday. Now, this is going to add even more fuel to the fire for Friday night because Godric, actually walked off on here and basically was fighting all of this. And there was actually Tafua, it seemed like, was controlling Godric Samuel's mind. He was
I saw that.
That was wild, right? I mean, he was controlling his mind, and Godric Samuel, who's never a man at a loss of words, walked off on Sportswire. I've had Godric Samuel coming on here, I would say at least for about a year and a half, and he's been on here, I don't know, 15 times at least. I've never seen Godric Samuel like that. And Daniel Tafua basically threw him off Sportswire without a word. I mean, and he's going to be back on here Friday. I have no idea. And what we just saw with Tafua, is going to add more fuel to the fire, undoubtedly.
Yes, I'm still lost for words because I've never seen
Knight for this. Now you may need Jason Knight in the USWA after what we just saw here. I mean, Jason Knight might be the only man maybe that could find a way to get to the bottom of it because he is Jason Knight after all.
Yes, you might be right on that.
I might. I think I might. That was bizarre. That was bizarre. And that's your champion. He's the universal hybrid champion. And like you said, that does involve the WBWF. That involves you. He has defended that championship there in the Richardson Building, 325 7th Street in beautiful Parkersburg, West Virginia. And that's going to be a big topic here Friday night. And Day is going to be back on here next Friday. And I'm sure I may have to ask Day that, but I mean, Day is not going to want to. Listen, I don't think Day is going to go anywhere near that. Well, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, didn't Day just like the beginning of this year finally get out of therapy? That mask is enough to put to bed.
Day's had his own issues. We know what Day has went through, and I've seen Day from the very beginnings of his career in other places, and he has 4 championships. But what we just saw just now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to repeat this before we get to a few closing words with you. Daniel Tafua, the Universal Hybrid Champion, appeared on Sportswire Radio, but yet didn't speak. It was the mask, and then was repeating things you said, and then vanished. And vanished without a word, without a trace, and that is going to be a dominant topic. I can promise you here Friday night. Friday night, Godric Samuel is here about 9:30 on his birthday. And I don't know if Godric Samuel is going to get Valentine's from Daniel Tafua. I don't think Daniel Tafua is going to be bringing some flowers, some candy to Godric Samuel for his birthday, but he may be bringing him maybe his mind, because after all, it seems Daniel Tafua has controlled the mind of Godric Samuel. So who knows what that'll certainly be. But I do want to, before we get to a few other things, the USWA goes to the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. If you want to follow the USWA on Instagram, you can most certainly do that. They also have a Facebook page. Now, I can't show Facebook for it because my Facebook is locked in on my laptop. But if you go to my page, I've tagged the USWA on there, so you can check out some of the USWA content on there. But Instagram's the best way to find out more USWA information. The YouTube page doesn't have some content, has some content on there, not a lot, but you can hit the sub button there and find out what's next in the USWA. We have some great champions. Obviously, we've seen the tag champs on here, the Keystone State champion, that Universal champion, and maybe you'll see some more talents. But before we get to closing thoughts, because I don't even know what to ask you after that, I really don't. Is there anything else that you want to plug or promote that maybe we haven't got a chance to before we sign off?
I just want to shed some light on some Valor Pro Wrestling here in York, Pennsylvania Prime Championship Wrestling in York, Pennsylvania, Outcast Wrestling. I also want to make a comment on the YouTube page. We were in the middle of making a page, and then we were supposed to have an editor, and then that page kind of like it's still in play, but it's not as much in play as the other one. with the new logo.
Okay.
But yes,
I had the link with that with the new logo. I just need to find the old. I had the new logo, but I can't seem to find that link. It's USWA. It's at like USWA 24 or something like that, like 24. I think,
US
right?
US United States Wrestling Alliance 23 because we were established in 2023.
Right. I thought there was another one. I do have that link. Now that handles I have 2 videos on there, right? That's the one USWA 23, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got double check.
Yeah. Well, I got the Instagram. That's the way. But there is a little bit of content on there. So if you want to check that out, you most certainly can. You can also support the USWA on Facebook. I would highly recommend you do that. And now I have the right page. Guess what? I got the right page. Finally, I have the right page. And the page you want to subscribe to is this one. The old one has the new logo. And I don't know why the entire time it wasn't showing up on my page, but I've got it now, and I want everybody to do me a favor and hit that sub button here for the USWA. That's where you want to do it. It is USWA 2323. So USWA 2323. They were established in 2023, and you're going to see some announcements, some shorts. You had, Jermaine was there he was, and we were going to certainly see a lot of stuff. And you guys had a show on March 8th, but we talked about that, right? We talked about that earlier. We're going to have August 8th instead, right? August 8th is where we're going to see the next big show that will forbidden. The show that was supposed to be this Saturday is now going to take place on August the 8th. So we're excited about that with Outcast Wrestling Revolution, OWR, and USWA. We're going to see that Forbidden Door, who's the best of each company. We're going to see the very best of Outcast Wrestling Revolution, the very best of the USWA, and also Jason Knight, March 7th, right? Outcast Wrestling Revolution, right? He's still going to be there this time on March 7th.
Yes, sir. I also like to plug in the Outcast Wrestling Revolution YouTube page.
I'm going to do that right now. Yep, go ahead.
Lots of good stuff. I was actually there for their show, Wedding Bells. That was a great show.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Lou got put in a body bag by 5150. Justice for Lou. But, it's the way the cookie crumbles.
Well, you know what they say 5150 is, right? It's the code for the criminally insane. That was the California Penal Code, which was 5150. And why do I know that? Because Van Halen had an album called 5150, which was the first album with Sammy Hagar on vocals, and the 40-year anniversary of that is, and that was their album 5150. So I think that this show that we just witnessed, that you talked about, was a little heavier than that album. But if you do want to follow Outcast Wrestling Revolution, you can do that right here on YouTube. You can hit a sub button for them. I've just done that, and I would hope that you join me in supporting the Outcast Wrestling Revolution. There's a lot of content there. I see Steve Off is a man I know very well. I know Steve Off, and he's a guy that's had an interesting history. He's actually been on my platform all those years ago, so you can check out some of their content from the past, and also keep up to date with them on places like Facebook, Instagram, and we would like to support those who support us. And again, Jason Knight will be there at the next OWR show, and that's going to take place March 7th. And
yes, sir.
USWA with the Outcast Wrestling Revolution will still have a show on August 8th, and you'll be seeing USWA talents throughout this month in places like Mon Valley, in places like the WVWF. We're going to be talking about those guys like Dave Jamison, where you can find him here next Friday. So, and we'll try to get to the bottom of what Daniel Tafua just did here. And also, one more time, hit the sub button for me for the USWA. So I want you to get those subs up, support the companies that support us. There you go. You got one just now. You got one from me, one from somebody else. So if you're out there, we got a bunch of people still on YouTube. So give them a sub. And if you're out there, also give the USWA a sub, because we have their page up in front of me. So there you go. Hit the sub button for the USWA. That's the right page at the right time. And the USWA is in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, because after all, they represent the USWA. But I'm going to pass the baton to you. I'm going to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say, my friend? the floor is most certainly yours here, and a lot of fun to be with you tonight.
Thank you. I had so much fun as well. I want to thank the people who inspired me. Shayna Ferjard. She's a friend of mine from California. My family for loving and supporting me. Just Outcast, my locker room. Just so many great people to be surrounded by. And of course, a great radio show to be on. Thank you, Mr. Tom.
Oh, stop. Listen, I didn't pay you that much to say that. No, I'm only kidding. But no, I appreciate your kind words. No, I appreciate your support. It's been nice to get to know you the last couple of weeks. You've been a good friend. And I do, even though I've only gotten to know you recently, I'm grateful that you've allowed your talents to come on here the last several months, like Mr. Jameson, like I think Mr. Tafua, even though he didn't speak, and obviously Ampo, but I'm actually the Banana Man I've known the longest. I've known the Banana Man longer than everybody else in the collective. So they've all been on here, and you've been gracious. You always could have told them no. You could have said to them no, but you didn't, and I appreciate your support through that. And we love the fact that you guys work with the WVWF because they have been, one of my biggest supporters the last year or so. So we're grateful to see companies work together. And if you want to support the USWA, that's the right YouTube channel. And the old page might have got a couple of extra subs too. So, we can't complain. But give them some more subs. Please support the USWA on Instagram. That's their Instagram page. And Outcast Wrestling Revolution's YouTube page. Thank you for correcting me because I did get confused with at the beginning. But we got that right now. And also Outcast Wrestling Revolution on Facebook. And also, one more time, the show that was supposed to have taken place this Saturday is now going to take place August 8th. And Jason Knight, that guy Jason Knight, will appear. And that's going to be March 7th. So please support the companies that were here tonight. And if you're out there, I will be back on Friday night. Friday night will be here with Godric Sandwell, and we'll maybe get to the bottom of what Daniel Tafua did. You'll be talking to him. Always you'll be talking to the Mask, it seems like, after that. And then I'll be here Thursday night, and I am very excited about that. And the future is definitely exciting. And wait a minute. And before we sign off, I think it's Daniel Tafua, and he said the Mighty League is getting more powerful, and he apologized. I guess you're going to have a conversation with him after we sign off, huh?
I ain't talking to him. He's got that mask, man. That mask is crazy.
You're the boss of him. You're going to have to. You're the boss. You're the big guy. You're not big-time Harley Langley.
Did you see what that mask just did, man?
I'm aware, but you're responsible for him. You're the boss. You're his boss. I mean, you're going to have to. I mean, I don't have to tell you. You're going to have to eventually. What are you going to do? Not talk to him? He's technically a man under your umbrella. I don't have to tell you. Tony Khan talks to his talent. Tony Khan talks to MJF. They may have a weird relationship, but they do it. I mean, you're going to have to find a way. I mean, look, there's a will, there's a way. I don't have to tell you, but you're going to have to try. Maybe you can come back in a couple weeks and tell us what you find. I mean, I don't know, but nevertheless, boy, that was something I didn't think I would see, and I just did. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are out there, nevertheless, follow the USWA on Instagram. Hello to my friend Maria out there. Hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you to Dave James, everybody else that was here in the chat. And that's the USWA's YouTube channel. It's the right ones with the sub button for them. Also, please support our friends at the Outcast Wrestling Revolution. We would certainly, or anything we could do to help them, and we appreciate that. And my friend, thank you so much for a rather interesting episode. And I hope you'd like to come back after this. Anybody else that you would like to see in the USWA other than what we saw from Mr. Tafua, they are most certainly welcomed. And congratulations on the success of the company so far.
Thank you so much, and I would definitely love to come back.
You can come back anytime you like. You're the boss, and maybe you'll take over because you do your own Facebook and TikTok. Like maybe if you want, you can take over for me. I'm ready to retire. You can take over if you like.
Man, you don't want that. I appreciate the confidence. So I really do.
I got a lot of confidence in you. You're doing a great job. That is now big time Harley Langley. He's no small town guy. He's a big time guy now. He is the owner of the USWA, and the USWA will have their show that was originally to take place on February the 7th will now be August 8th with the Outcast Wrestling Revolution. You'll see Jason Knight back out there on March 7th for OWR, and also WVWF's next show, which we're going to be talking a lot about Love and War, February 21st. The likes of Dave Jameson, your champion, that guy Tafua, I think he'll be there, or it's that mask, either or. I'll try to talk to Godric Samuel about it Friday night. Thursday night, stay tuned. We'll have on Brandon Costelli, the DBW champion. But until then, thank you so much, everybody. God bless. If you can, check out my interview that came on before Mr. Langley and Mr. Tafua with Carmine Appice, the greatest drummer that is alive. So check that out. I'll be here 5 o'clock tomorrow with Mr. Mo Royce Peterson of Love and Tragedy. It's a Bee Gees metal tribute band. So we'll see what that is. But until then, have a great night. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening on Sportswire Radio, the number one